Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. You know what? Not worth it.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Can't believe this movie is a year older than I am.
See, this movie came out March 30th. It literally came out almost 3 months before I was born. But there was another movie that came out in 1988 that is also a stone cold classic. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Literally was released on the same day I was born.
Basically nothing actually released on my birthday. The closest thing is a week before I was born, Pet Sematary came out.
Ooh, that's wicked. And Beetlejuice, notwithstanding, is one of the best films of the 80s. Has become iconic on so many levels. Someone is here to talk about Beetlejuice and basically, I guess, go over the best parts of Beetlejuice, and also, not only that, but also regale us with some of the kills that Beetlejuice has. I guess without further ado.
Which I'm glad this is happening, because it's been a very long time since I've seen it, and this will recap me somewhat before Beetlejuice.
Yeah. I watched Beetlejuice not too long ago. I think it was like 6 months ago I watched it. It still holds up so well.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Beetlejuice, released in 1988. Beetlejuice follows the lives and deaths of Adam and Barbara Maitland, a loving married couple who end up haunting their own house after their untimely demise. When a new family moves in, they decide to scare them out and enlist the help of a ghost with the most.
Beetlejuice.
No, Adam, it's Beetlejuice. Ah, shit. I said it 3 times. Beetlejuice is directed by Tim Burton, whose work we've covered previously with 2007's Sweeney Todd. This was only his second feature after the perfect film that is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Say what you will about his eventual filmography, but early Burton was masterclass filmmaking. His style hadn't become a parody of itself yet, and the humor was legitimately hilarious, though plenty of that can be accredited to his performers. Beetlejuice cemented his signature style and gave him clout enough to helm the big-budget Batman just a year later. It's got plenty of ghosts, ghouls, and monsters, all of which were made practically with stop motion and special effects. In fact, Beetlejuice won the Best Makeup Oscar at the 61st Academy Awards. What's funny though is that Beetlejuice the character isn't in as much of the movie as you might expect.
No.
He only has 17 minutes of screen time, and only a few of those are spent in his famous suit. But it's easy to forget that thanks to Michael Keaton's unhinged portrayal. It's seriously a perfect performance, and made the character an instant icon, thus his inclusion in the second Horror Royal Rumble. The movie would spawn a popular animated TV show, a Nintendo game, and a surprisingly good Broadway musical. It was also the first ever DVD that Netflix sent out when it launched in 1998. A sequel comes out in just a few weeks, made by Tim Burton again and starring Jenna Ortega. If it's even half as good as the original, well, we're in for a treat. Wait, what? Ah!
Oh, great.
Where am I? That desert hellscape from Beetlejuice? Oh God, I've already sweat off all my Beetlejuice makeup, and it gave me a haircut too.
Let me guess. This is because you have a sponsor.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on how my boys are feeling downstairs. Whew.
Oh.
Hey, James, how do I survive in this abyss? Do
Balls.
they sponsor MeUndies?
Oh.
MeUndies, I could use some help down here. MeUndies gods, I know your standard micromodal fabric is stretchy and breathable already, but to survive here, I'm gonna need your Move Me Line's moisture-wicking anti-odor breathe fabric that's perfect for sweltering summer days. MeUndies? MeUndies, are you out there? Tired of talking to myself here. Oh, maybe you need me to choose from your 20 different styles in 100 different colors and prints, with options ranging from black briefs to bold boxers.
A lot of butts we
but
have to
you know
look
what?
at when the
I think I'll go for an
sponsorship from this
adventurous
comes up, isn't it?
assortment. Oh, huh, you are there. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Jeez.
All right, I'm gonna go put on these bad boys and figure out my way out of here. Oh, it's a right at the sandworm. Well, thank you, MeUndies. I'm going home. You don't need to trek through how to enjoy MeUndies. Viewers can get 20% off their first order, plus free shipping at MeUndies.com/deadmeat. Oh, great, the makeup's back. Will our ghost with the most nab any kills when we say his name 3 times? Let's find out and get to them. The movie begins by establishing the small town setting of Winter River, Connecticut. I love this long flyover shot. Of course, where there's flies, there's giant spiders. Oh my god! Just kidding. This is a regular sized spider in a miniature town. But if you didn't catch the dissolve transition out of the helicopter shot, you might be taken aback when the spider pops out. This quaint little one-road town is the home of Barbara and Adam Maitland, a married couple played by Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin. They're enjoying a staycation in their massive house, which they've been trying, without success, to fill with mini Maitlands. Barbara's cousin Jane keeps bugging them to sell the house to a family with kids.
This house is too big for you. It really ought to be for a couple with a family.
Wow, Jane, will you fuck off? The Maitlands are happy here, making their models and smooching on drop cloths. They've got no reason to leave this primo location.
Also, I did not remember that was Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, pre.
Kind of stains this movie a little.
Okay, there's two actors that are never going to be brought back. One is a parent, Jeffrey Jones, who plays Lydia's dad, who is certified creep, very, very bad stuff. And then Alec Baldwin, who literally killed somebody.
Yeah, when you actually look far enough into it, it keeps swapping back and forth. It's like, oh, it was his fault. Oh, it wasn't really his fault. But, oh, it kind of was his fault. But, oh, it wasn't really his fault. But then you finally get to the end of the chain and you're like, oh, yeah. Pretty much indirectly, it was entirely his fault.
Is that 5,000 square feet? It's peaceful and solitary up on the hill, yet town is only a red bridge away. They go there since Adam needs materials for his models, and he grabs them from the hardware store they own. But on the way back, a stray dog causes them to crash through the side of the bridge. It's a cartoonishly close call. The only thing holding them there is that dog.
Hey, pup. No!
The dog takes off, so the Maitlands drop into the river and onto the kill count, when good boys go bad. Winter River, Connecticut was played by East Corinth, Vermont. I'm happy to hear they went back there for the sequel. Production had to build a 3.5-sided facade for the Maitland home, the covered bridge involved in the accident, and build a dam to make the lake their car falls into. The Maitlands get back home with nary a scratch on them, but we saw that kill graphic, we know what's up. They start to suspect something when their magical fireplace gives them Luke Hang Hands. Birthday candle Luke Hang Hands? Must be a friendship. When they try to leave the house, they find that their front lawn's been turned eco-friendly. It's a Salvador Dali-looking desert hellscape. And sure, the giant planet in the sky is pretty cool, but the view ain't worth the sandworms and all their stop-motion glory. This thing's an oversized toy from A Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's ready to— oh, drat, they got away. Next time, sandworm. Back inside, they figure out what's happened when they see their Nosferatus in the mirror. Oh, also, this book's a good clue.
A handbook for the recently diseased.
Deceased.
They realize the truth. Thanks to that crash, they've joined the Departed. News of their deaths reaches the underworld, where our titular character decides to make them his next mark. The Maitlands settle into married afterlife, working on their models and sitting on their smoochin' smocks. Jane visits the house, but they're unable to get her attention. According to their manual, the living usually won't see the dead.
Won't or can't?
Just says won't.
Unbeknownst to them, Jane has gone ahead and sold their home, which is why one morning they're rudely awakened from their eternal slumber by the sound of new arrivals. It's the upper-class Dietz family moving here from New York. Realtor Charles is looking to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city. His goth daughter Lydia is happy to move into this spooky house, but her stepmother Delia can't stand it.
Oh, look, an indoor outhouse.
An unfortunate part of this movie is that Charles Dietz is played by Jeffrey Jones, who fucking sucks. Thankfully, Delia Dietz is played by Catherine O'Hara, who's a damn delight in the role. Daughter Lydia is played by a 17-year-old Winona Ryder, nowadays best known for Stranger Things.
I think Lydia was probably a lot of the reason that I ended up with the taste in girls that I had growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Count in Alien Resurrection. Delia's an artist, in air quotes, and is eager to bring a mighty wind of renovation to the house. She does not plan to leave their home alone. She's got movers bringing in all sorts of wacky crap, one of whom is played by J.J. Saunders, who was the sheriff in Tammy and the T-Rex. Remember that one? Delia's interior design aspirations are aided by her flamboyant friend Otho.
You're lucky the yuppies are buying condos so you can afford what I'm going to have to do to this place.
Otho is so far past gay-coded, man. You can't even see the functions anymore. The Maitlands aren't thrilled about these people tearing up their home, but their manual says they're ghosts, so maybe they can scare them out like Haunting starring Poltergeist.
We just have to pray the other closets are bigger than this one.
They try all sorts of YouTube unfriendly scares, while Jeffrey Jones snarls around sounding like Tim Robinson.
I know what you two are up to, and you're not gonna get away with it.
But their Casper crusade of ghoulish goofs goes unnoticed by these normies, who just won't see them.
Won't or can't?
Won't, Adam! Pay attention! They barely managed to lock the newcomers out of their attic, preserving it as their last bit of personal space. I love how good that headless body looks running around. Much better than The Simpsons and Return of the Living Dead. Unable to leave or before make themselves seen, the Maitlands are forced to sit by on the Dietz's moving day full of cranes and cows. Maybe get those cows away from that crane, unless you're planning on feeding a T-Rex or something. Jane drops by and gives Lydia a key to the attic, threatening the one room the Maitlands can still call their own. It's at that moment their TV plays a commercial for Beetlejuice, whose flyer they found earlier.
Troubled by the living? Is that the problem and not the solution? Call
Wait, they fed the
Beetlejuice.
raptors
Adam
with the
has-
crane, not the T-Rex.
Yeah. No,
T-Rex
they
had the
fed by
goat.
a goat.
On the elevator.
Yeah, the goat. Yeah, a little bit of a mix-up on the... I forgive it.
You don't goof James now.
Pronunciation. Probably because the character's name isn't spelled like the movie title. It's spelled like the star it's named after. Beetlejuice, the 10th brightest in the sky and part of the Orion constellation. I like astronomy. Beetlejuice touts himself as a bio-exorcist, a ghost who gets rid of the living for a living. He can take care of their human possession.
Fun
as he
thing is, I
promises
saw
in
this and the
amazing brief-
animated show before I was old enough to spell.
Oh, gosh.
And read and stuff. And then when I started learning to spell, like, I automatically assumed that it would be spelled like Beetlejuice, like Juice, you know.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it again, I was like, what? Why does it say Beetlegeist? Like, you know, and for a little while that threw me off. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think it was in 5th grade. They said they were talking about stars in the sky. Anyone want to take a guess to what the name of this star is? And then everyone just like, it's named Beetlejuice. And everyone was like, what? And then he was like, it's not spelled the same. This spelling is actually in the movie if you actually look close enough. He was right.
Well, it's in the movie multiple times.
Yeah.
Preview of the character. I'll do anything. It gives us a hint of the performance in store, and even ends with a little jingle.
I'll eat anything you want me to eat. I'll swallow anything you want me to swallow. Come on down now. Chew on a dog.
The Maitlands haven't gotten that desperate
God, I
enough
love-
to follow
I
the
love
manual,
Michael
even though
Keaton
that
in
thing's
this.
got Bible-thin pages. Damn. It says to draw a door in case of emergency, and their chalk outline gives way to a glowing green entrance, whose light Lydia sees outside. After they step through, she opens the door and discovers their hideaway and haunted handbook. This now famous book cover was designed by art director Tom Duffield to look like a Dick and Jane reader, and the boomers go wild. The Maitlands find themselves in the scariest place of all, a waiting room. Ooh. This DMV of the dead has plenty of colorful corpses, like a magic trick gone wrong, a big game hunter with a shrunken head, and old bone swallower Bill. Ha, Bill, always swallowing them bones. They take a seat next to the world's best anti-smoking PSA.
You want a cigarette?
Oh, no, thank you.
Trying to cut down myself.
Forgot about
these
that guy.
characters aren't being included on the count since we never knew them when they were living. I think that's consistent?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The
It's
couple checks in
Beetlejuice.
with the receptionist and are led through the afterlife offices, staffed by bastard skellies and roadkill desk clerks. Oh shit, they've got a Monsters Inc. transpo system here?
I would say for James, I would be like, think back to all movies you've done. Find any of them where ghosts kill people. Did you count the ghosts, even though they were dead when it started? You know, if not, then you wouldn't count these, because it's basically the same thing. They're ghosts.
True, true.
We saw actor Carmen Philby in Halloween 4, where he was also a little flat.
Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river.
Same goes for his appearance in Burton's previous film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Get me quick, corn, and I am
As they're leaving, the Maitlands pass by the Lost Souls room, a sort of afterlife. It's where spirits go after they've been exorcised. In other words, death for the dead. Kind of like at the end of Hercules. You know, that whirlpool version of the beach that makes you old. When they return home, they wind up in that place from Nightmare 4 where they played Dramarama.
believe that
But
has
this
an
Art
actual
Deco
name.
dojo
Isn't that
is
the River
actually
Styx?
their home.
I think so. The River in the Hercules animated movie, I think it is called the River Styx.
They've been gone for 3 months, during which Delia transformed the place inside and out. Beetlejuice's German expressionist-inspired production design comes courtesy of Bo Welch, who was hired because Burton liked his work on The Lost Boys. He found Burton's vision and detailed storyboards immensely helpful for his job, and found the entire production immensely helpful for his happiness. It was where he met Catherine O'Hara, and they started dating towards the end of the shoot. They're still married to this day. Aw, that's nice.
Bo Welch has been I think he's been Tim Burton's cinematographer ever since.
The Maitlands finally meet Juno, the caseworker assigned to their ghostly affairs.
We're very unhappy.
What did you expect? You're dead.
She says if they want to scare the Dietzes out, they should start small rather than going heads off right away. Don't even think of outsourcing their scares to the B-Man.
Don't even say his name. You don't want his help.
Beetlejuice used to be her assistant before he went rogue, because he's too wacky and wild to be contained. Then the perpetually smoking lady pieces out in a puff of smoke. I love how smoke also comes out of her slit neck. Effects artist Bob Short had to blow cigarette smoke out of a tubing system. Short handled most of the movie's prosthetics and makeup effects, spending 3 months designing and constructing the various creatures. Burton told him to make them look like his illustrations and not worry about realism, which is why a bunch of them don't look fully human. The Maitlands decide to step up their ghost game by bringing it back to the classics. It doesn't work on Delia, because she's white girl wasted right now, and Charles is too busy doing business! Turns out he's not really there to relax, at least not anymore.
These people don't know the value of their property. I can buy the whole town.
He's working an angle for his boss Maxie, who still lives in the city. You can tell by his city backdrop. Lydia overhears the moaning, but thinks it's just her dad and Delia making sex noises.
Cut it out! I'm a child, for God's sakes.
Wait, then, why are you taking pictures of them? What the fuck? It's how she learns that these two are honest to God ghosts. Rather than being afraid, she reacts with morbid curiosity.
Are you Night of the Living Dead under there? Like all bloody veins and pus?
Turns out Lydia can see them, even without the sheets. It's cause she's not like other girls.
Live people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
The Maitlands tell Lydia they plan to drive away her family, but she says her parents don't scare easy. At least not after all the money they've spent ruining this place. While brainstorming in the attic, Barbara notices a flashing light in their miniature graveyard.
It's him, Beetlejuice.
We saw him hanging out here earlier, capturing a housefly for a snack. Dude's even got his own headstone under...
I also love the fact he pulls out his Agna. He's like, "Hey, come here. I got something for you." And you just hear the little fly just going, "Help me! Help me! Help me!" And then you just hear Beetlejuice let out a burp. God, that's so good.
You might want to be careful there, Barbara. That's 2.
Beetlejuice.
Oh boy, brace yourself.
Here we
It's
go.
Showtime. The Maitlands are shrunk down and transported to the Motto, where they follow flashing lights to Beetlejuice's tomb. Damn, he's making them work for it. They've got to dig his corpse out from beneath corkboard. After they do, the juice is officially loose, looking like a tiny, dirty Sam Kinison, who was briefly considered for the role at one point. Juice wastes no time perving on Barb
wouldn't
and
have worked.
just generally being a menace. Whoa! We've had to wait half the movie's runtime for this, but it's finally time for Keaton to take the spotlight. The wait is well worth it for this inspired performance.
You know what I'm saying?
Beetlejuice proves to be...
Save that guy for later. I love him so much. He's such a bastard.
Great at the scaring thing.
What do you think of this?
You like it? Actually, it might be a little too frightening.
I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
I mean, the dude's talking...
It's like the greatest line ever.
I just hate the fact. God, I wish Jason had talked about how he went from like talking normal. It's like, what are your credentials? I attended Juilliard. I also attended Harvard Business School, and I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty damn good time during that. And I've seen The Exorcist 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.
Also, that had like such a Jim Carrey vibe to the line delivery as well.
Well,
I think that's why I thought it was funny as well.
Well, this is pre like Jim Carrey like being the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey didn't really take off until like after In Living Color when he did Ace Ventura.
I feel like he might have took some inspiration from that scene, maybe this performance.
Probably. Michael Keaton's performance here is iconic. You can definitely see hints of this performance in so much screwball comedy later on down the line.
Fucking tactics that include possession and straight up bam. Oh, and he's still perving on Barb.
Hey! Excuse me?
What? Beetlejuice is played by Michael Keaton, last seen on the kill count at Jack Frost. Oh, wait, no, sorry, wrong one. Burton really wanted Keaton for the role, but the actor was hesitant at first since he didn't understand the script. He eventually agreed because he liked the director and was given free rein with how the character behaved.
Is everybody with me here? And nobody went, "Stop doing that, Mike." So I just said, "Okay, I'm gonna keep going."
He was encouraged to swing for the fences by Burton and the crew, who chanted juice when he first showed up on set in character. It only took him 2 weeks to film all his scenes, and he ad-libbed a lot of the performance.
Nice fucking model!
Keaton also...
I do not remember him saying the F word.
No, they on the TV version they edited out the "nice fucking model" honk honk. You know who did that and got in trouble for it? He actually talked about it on a stream. Doug.
Oh, really?
The Nostalgia Creep. He said he watched this movie He was 8 years old when this movie came out, and he did that in front of his aunt. As soon as his mom heard about it, no bueno.
Helped design the character's look, even though Burton had plenty of sketches to begin with.
And I said, I want hair that looks like I stuck my phone in an electrical outlet.
He came up with the idea for all the mold alongside makeup artist V. Neal, whose credits are an insane list of giant films and the show Face Off. It took 3.5 hours to apply the look, which was never rehearsed or screen tested. He just showed up on set looking like this, and everyone loved it.
It was one of the great yes and experiences.
The Maitlands aren't fans of the Juice's whole vibe, so they ditched the dirty bastard and decide to take another crack at being creepy themselves. Downstairs, the Dietzes are hosting a giant shrimp cocktail party for some guests. They include Otho, Delia's agent Bernard, their writer friend Grace, and neurotic artsy type Beryl. Bernard is played by Dick Cavett, a talk show host.
I think if I remember correctly, this might be one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Oh,
because the way this goes.
Daylight come and we want go home.
Delroy. He was previously on the kill count as a Freddy-infested version of himself who murdered Zsa Zsa Gabor in Dream Warriors. It was great.
Who in that front what you think?
Meanwhile,
Welcome
real-life
to prime
artist Adele
time,
Lutz
bitch.
had a brief appearance in Silence of the Lambs. This miserable party is full of snooty food and snide comments about Otho.
Paranormal, is that what they're calling your kind these days?
Oh, damn! The Maitlands interrupt the pretentious proceedings with karaoke. The guests are forced into a supernatural song and dance number set to the Banana Boat song by Harry Belafonte. Incredible face acting and lip syncing all around. Sometimes their dances look like a David Bowie pose, and other times it gets more David Byrne, which is funny since Adele Lutz was married to Byrne at one point and designed costumes for his movie True Stories. The fun and games end with a scare that's actually pretty effective. Oh man, I love those shrimp fingers. Burton first read Michael McDowell's screenplay in 1986 and loved that it didn't have the same rigid structure as most scripts.
You're gonna get this script that makes no sense, it has no real story.
It went through a bunch of drafts by various writers and changes during production, like adding more Beetlejuice. Burton continued the script's loose spirit by allowing his cast to improvise and shape their characters, and his crew to keep pushing boundaries. He and frequent composer Danny Elfman both said the studio rarely bothered checking in with them.
I didn't get a lot of notes because they didn't know what to say about it.
The only interference I read about was that the studio briefly made Burton remove the possessed dinner calypso karaoke scene, which is nuts. Burton wisely put it back in at the last minute.
Hell yeah.
Well, the thing is, they've talked about how, like, in certain cases, this film, the studio didn't know what to do with it because it was so out of the box. That scene right there, they actually tried to talk Tim Burton into going with a more popular song of like the time. It has to be Harry Belafonte's like Banana Boat song because it literally fits so well. It has that voodoo and hoodoo edge to it that just makes it feel it gives us a feeling of unease but familiarity at the same time. It's so you can't replicate it with just another song just by like picking it up and just replacing it with something else. When something works, run with it.
The Maitlands are thrilled with their efforts until they see that they haven't scared these rich pricks off. They've only made them more interested.
It was like being in an amusement park.
They want to turn this haunted house into a tourist attraction.
People pay big money for this one.
Yeah, man. James Randi's got $1 million for you. Lydia's forced to take her parents up to the attic where, oh my god, there's a sniper! Lydia, get down! Oh, wait, that's just the light. My bad. Otho nabs himself some new reading material as Beetlejuice decides to give the Maitlands a trial run of his services.
Let's turn on the juice and see what shakes loose.
The Dietzes soon discover.
Actually, if you notice, they actually had to come back for reshoots on this. They got his hair, but the makeup.
Yeah,
they weren't able to do the full makeup.
Turn on the juice and see what shakes loose.
The Dietzes soon discover that their railing has developed scaling. It's Beetlejuice in the form of a Michael Keaton condom. His brand of haunting is less Deo dilly-dallying and more severe concussions. Oh, and perving on Delia. Yeah, they're up Schitt's Creek now. Beetleman turns his thirst towards Lydia, so Barbara intervenes on her behalf.
Beetlejuice! Oh no!
The reverse Uno banishes the Bio-exorcist back into the model town, but he still intends on being a literal thorn in their sides. Luckily, he's waylaid by an itty-bitty titty bar filled with hot demon chicks. Yeah! Gonna tell my kids this was Has Been Hotel. This
Don't you fucking dare.
distraction was added by Juno, who's none too pleased with the Maitlands. Not only did they summon Beetlejuice, but their haunting hijinks could expose the afterlife to the living at large. She's more annoyed with them than she is with her latest clients.
Coach, where's the men's room?
I'm not your coach.
I'm not your coach. He survived.
She tells them to go all out, so the Maitlands get creative and mushing up their faces. Adam stretches out into a spy versus spy guy and fills his fingertips with eyeballs. Barbara flicks her peepers back and pops them out her mouth and stretches her mouth open like a messed up looking Muppet. Ha! Things are looking up, Juno. The Maitlands have a plan, and even the football players are starting to figure things out.
I don't think we survived that crash.
How did you guess?
In the land of the living, the Diaz's parental concerns have finally kicked in. They're worried these ghosts and ghouls are too dangerous for Lydia, but Otho convinces them to stay the course. You know, for money. Otho's played by Glenn Shaddix, who voiced the mayor in A Nightmare Before Christmas. Catherine O'Hara voiced Sally in that movie, which Burton produced but did not direct. Common misconception.
Yes.
Shaddix, who sadly passed away in 2010, also appeared alongside Winona Ryder in Heathers, which came out the day after Beetlejuice was released. What you doing opening 2 movies in one weekend, Winona? That's crazy. Lydia winds up in the attic where she finds Beetlejuice in miniature form.
Are you a ghost too?
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
He asks her to let him out by saying his name 3 times, but since he's not allowed to say it himself, he resorts to Paranormal Pictionary.
Hi, how are ya?
Lydia nearly summons him before the girl is interrupted by Adam and Barbara. The couple decides not to go through with the haunting, having grown a fondness for Lydia as a sort of surrogate daughter. They invite her and her family to stay in the house, for better or worse. Unfortunately, things seem to be sliding towards worse. Charles's big shot boss, Maxie Dean, and his wife Sarah have arrived to hear a pitch for their new business venture. The Dietzes want to transform this whole town into a paranormal theme park with their home as the main attraction. Maxie is played by Robert Goulet, esteemed singer and Broadway actor. Also, there's a mustache award named after him. Yeah, that checks out. Maxie isn't willing to invest.
Got a bitchin' mustache, dude.
Until he sees proof of the ghosts, but Lydia refuses to sell out her spirit friends. Enter Otho and his stolen handbook for the recently deceased. He conducts a seance using Adam and Barbara's wedding clothes, which he found earlier in a closet. It seemingly works at first, summoning the couple to the dinner table. The only problem is dumbass Otho is actually conducting an exorcism, which starts turning the Maitlands into a pair of lost souls. Desperate to save her undead friends, Lydia consults the only other ghost she knows.
Sure, I can help him.
And there's the outfit.
You gotta help me.
He'll only do it if Lydia agrees to marry him, which will allow him to escape into the mortal world. Oh, that's how you get your living green card. Lydia, being the naive young teen that she is, agrees to the deal.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
See, this is why we have age of consent laws.
It's showtime.
You watch what you're showing that teenager, mister. An earthquake hits the miniature town and a Jack Skellington pops out. Oh, wait, no, it's Carnival Barker Beetlejuice.
Attention, Kmart shoppers.
God, he's like a weird, scary version of Beavis and Butthead combined. I don't know. First up for a bio-exorcism are Maxie and Sarah, who Beetlejuice high strikes straight out the ceiling. But I don't think he kills them. They're staying off the count. He then turns his attention to Otho, whom he leaves looking like Lil Gideon. Feels pretty tame in comparison, but it's enough to send him running out of the movie. With the excess characters cleared out, B-Man wants to get this red wedding started. He summons a pint-sized priest to lead the proceedings and brings Delia's artwork to life. You know, they were crappy sculptures, but they make for great stop-motion monsters. Adam and Barbara managed to pull themselves together enough.
Dude, come on, you gotta include the part where he tries to say Beetlejuice. His jaw literally falls off. He's like, back. I lost my shit so much at that when I was a kid. Back.
To try to object to this unholy union, but they're stopped by Beetlejuice's Looney Tune gags, which include literally zipping Barbara's mouth shut. Then Adam gets sparkled into the model town, while Barbara is banished to the desert outside. Beetlejuice gets ready to put a ring on Lydia, but Adam manages to hijack a toy car and stop the fight.
You know, okay, I'll say this. That's supposed to be Saturn, according to Beetlejuice. Hey, you ever been to Saturn? Technically, this is Saturn, but I don't know.
Outside. Beetlejuice gets ready to put a ring on Lydia, but Adam manages to hijack a toy car and stop the final vows. Barbara also returns, riding in on a sandworm like Thelma and Louise and Al-Gaib. The stop-motion serpent devours Beetlejuice, sending him back to the underworld. It's not an exorcism, though, so this undead boy stays off the count. An epilogue shows both families living in harmony. They're brushed with the dead, inspiring Delia's art. The Maitlands are now full-on surrogate parents, helping Lydia with her schoolwork and treating her to a magical dance session. It's set to another Harry Belafonte song, Jump in the Line. line. Beetlejuice has
Jump
been
in
sent
the
back to
line,
the afterlife
rock your
waiting
body
room.
one
He
time.
also tries to
Okay,
jump in the
I
line, but he
believe.
messes with the wrong witch doctor. The movie ends as Beetlejuice's head is shrunk down to size. How many recently deceased will have to study up on their handbooks? Let's find out and get
That's
to
what
the
I was thinking, though, is that they didn't really kill very many people in this movie.
I was thinking that he would include the two that he launched out the ceiling. Because that's the thing, Beetlejuice says he's not afraid to kill people. We never see those two again. I would count them as kills. That's just me, though.
But it ends up basically just being, you know, the car crash. It's the only real kills.
Numbers. Time to get to the numbers.
Yeah, what I said.
All right, hold on. Let's summon James for the numbers. James A. Janice. James A. Janice. James A. Janice. Hey,
Only two
there he
people died
is.
on screen in Beetlejuice. The victims consisted of one man and one woman, giving us this till death do us pie chart. We've seen this count and breakdown 4 times before on this show, including just recently an influencer. With a runtime of 92 minutes, Beetlejuice had a kill on average every 46 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to the Maitlands, because they're the only kills we counted. Oh, and the dog gag was pretty funny. For the same reason, Doll Machete for lamest kill will go to no one. And that's it. Beetlejuice was released in 1988 and was the 10th highest grossing movie of the year. The sequel, Beetlejuice, comes out soon. Can't wait. Until next time, I'm Beetle James. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
That's what you should have said 3 times.
Beetlejuice.
It's Dead Meat Video. Hey, we're the team at Dead Meat Video.
Here with our weekly Kill Count recommendation.
This week, it's VHS.
VHS
Pretty
is
good
an
one.
anthology film with a
Yeah.
wraparound that follows some douchebags tasked with one simple
I would
mission.
say the second one's my favorite, though.
I honestly still can't remember if I've actually seen the second one or not.
We gotta break into this house, and all we have to do is steal this one VHS tape.
Will they get the tape? Will they break a bunch of shit? Will they fucking die horribly? I hope so, because they suck.
Second Honeymoon is the story of a married couple's Arizona road trip that gets interrupted by a mysterious stalker. Directed by Ty West, it has a bloody ending that's definitely not for minors.
You know what I'm playing?
Amateur Night follows some douchebags tasked with one simple mission.
I'm not filming a porno.
Nope, but it's close enough. Of course, things go wrong, so be prepared for this booty
Oh, I
call to
remember
get
that.
extra bloody.
Yeah.
Tuesday the 17th is a slasher featuring a homicidal killer known as the Glitch. Now, I don't want to ruin the ending for you, but...
You're all gonna fucking die up here.
Hey, spoilers!
10/30/198 follows some non-douchebags as they wind up at the wrong Halloween house party.
Oh, shit!
Don't miss Radio Silence's directorial debut or you'll regret it.
The sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger is a story about a girl in a long-distance relationship. With ghosts.
That's really scary, Emily. What are you talking about?
She sees ghosts. I thought that was pretty clear.
So check out VHS this week.
Then on Friday, make sure to avoid any late fees.
By watching the Kill Count. Only on Dead Meat.
Now that I've actually seen that quick recap of it, I actually don't know if I ever saw the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
No, that sounded super familiar to me.
Well, I guess we gotta watch the VHS movies then.
Disgusting. Should make kid be watching this? Yeah, Dead Meat Video.
VHS can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its
Oh.
kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thanks a lot for
It's on
watching this
Hulu,
Beetlejuice Kill Count.
Yeah, we could watch it. You know, that was a good kill count. Even though it was, 2 kills. That's it.
It's a quick count.
Yeah. The one thing, actually, I remember when I was talking about Beetlejuice, Harry Belafonte, I thought Harry Belafonte was still alive. Turns out, no. Turns out, Harry Belafonte passed away. He was 96. This is the guy that sang the Banana Boat Jump in the Line songs. Everybody, I want to thank y'all very much.
Passed away last year.
Yeah. He was 96, dude. Everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope that y'all enjoyed. And until next time, signing off, I am Nate.
I am Nick.
Be good people. Take care. Peace.